Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are tackling a real kitchen conundrum, something that's popped up a lot recently. Air fryer versus convection oven. They seem similar on the surface, don't they? Both use hot air, circulating it around.
Exactly. That's where the confusion comes in. They share that core idea, fan-assisted heat.
But our sources really highlight how different they are in practice. Design, results, what they're actually for.
That's right. The engineering is quite distinct. One is built for, well, intensity. The other for volume and consistency.
So our mission today is to cut through all that marketing hype.
Yep.
We're going to dig into the design, the capacity, how fast they cook, how versatile they really are. Basically give you the info you need to figure out which one, if either, makes sense for your kitchen.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Where should we start? Maybe just the basics. What are these things?
Good idea. So the air fryer, it's almost always a countertop unit, usually pretty compact.
Right.
And its key feature is a very powerful fan and a small cooking chamber. It blasts hot air at high speed.
The idea being to mimic deep frying, but with way less oil. Get things crispy fast.
Precisely. It's specialized for that texture. Now, the convection oven,
That's different. It can be countertop too, like a big toaster oven, or even built into your wall, right?
Exactly. It's generally larger. It also has a fan, but the goal isn't that same intense crisping. It's about even cooking.
Making sure the temperature is consistent everywhere inside that bigger space.
Right. So it's much more versatile for traditional stuff, baking, roasting, broiling. It's more like an enhanced regular oven.
Okay, so size is a huge differentiator right off the bat.
Absolutely critical. Air fryers, they're small. We're talking, what, maybe 2 quarts up to 10 at the very high end.
Which is fine if you're cooking for 1 or 2 people, or just doing a side dish.
Perfect for that. Small household, maybe making some appetizers for 4 people, limited counter space, it fits. Plus it heats up super fast because it's small.
But if you want to cook, say, a whole chicken or multiple things at once,
Then you hit the limit. That's where the convection oven comes in. Even countertop models are bigger, maybe half a cubic foot, up to 2 cubic feet, or even more for built-in ones.
2 cubic feet. That's pretty big. You could fit a turkey in that.
Oh, easily. A big holiday turkey, multiple sheets of cookies, a large roast with vegetables. It's built for capacity.
So that first decision point is really about scale, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Quick, small batches versus larger, whole meals.
That's a great way to put it. Intensity versus volume.
Okay, let's get into the performance. This is where things get really interesting, I think. Speed and results. The sources are unanimous. Air fryers are faster, significantly faster. Why is that?
It really comes down to physics. That small chamber means the hot air concentrates immediately. There's almost no waiting.
You don't really need to preheat it for most things.
Often not, no. Or maybe just for a minute or two. The sources mention frozen French fries, for instance. Maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Wow, that's quick compared to a regular oven.
Easily half the time. And that speed for a quick weeknight meal or snack, that's a huge plus.
That instant on aspect really changes things. Now, a convection oven is also quicker than a conventional oven, right?
It is. That fan helps circulate the heat, so it speeds things up, maybe 20 to 30% faster baking times compared to a traditional oven without a fan.
But it still needs to preheat because it's bigger.
Yes, definitely. You have to heat that larger volume of air. So while it's faster than conventional, it can't match that immediate focused heat of the air fryer.
And that difference in heat delivery, that must affect the final product, the food itself.
Absolutely. The air fryer, with its intense high-velocity air, is optimized for surface crisping. That Maillard reaction, getting things brown and crunchy,
Right.
it excels at that. You get that really satisfying, almost fried texture, but using, 70-80% less oil, the sources say?
So perfect for things like chicken wings, frozen snacks, reheating pizza so the crust gets crispy again.
Exactly. Anything where you want that dry, crispy exterior is the champion for that.
There's always a but, isn't there? That intense, maybe even violent airflow. What does it do to more delicate foods?
Ah, that's the key trade-off. That same intense air that makes fries crispy can be, a disaster for other things.
Like what? Cakes.
Cakes, definitely. Soufflés, custards, anything light that needs to rise gently and evenly. The air fryer's blast can dry them out, make them cook unevenly, or even literally blow light batters around.
Okay, so it's a specialist. Amazing at crisping, not so great for gentle, even baking.
Pretty much. Whereas the convection oven, its whole design is about even heat.
Consistency across the whole cavity.
Exactly. So think about baking bread, where you want a uniform rise and crust, roasting a large piece of meat evenly from edge to center, baking multiple trays of cookies where you want them all to be the same color.
It handles that kind of thing much better.
Superbly. It gives you really consistent results across a huge range of cooking methods, even if it doesn't quite achieve that super crisp fried texture the air fryer nails.
Which leads us nicely into just day-to-day use, versatility, and maybe just as important, cleanup.
Right. Practical stuff.
So versatility-wise, it sounds like the convection oven is the clear winner.
Hands down. It bakes, it roasts, it broils, that high top-down heat for melting cheese or searing. Many models have other modes too, like dehydrating or proofing dough.
And crucially, it can handle multiple things at once. Different racks.
Yes. That's key for cooking a full meal. You can have your main dish on one rack, veggies on another. You just can't do that effectively in an air fryer's small basket.
So the air fryer is really limited there. It's mainly for that frying function and maybe reheating small portions.
Primarily, yes. You can get accessories for some models, little pans for baking small things or tiny grill plates, but it's always constrained by that single small cooking zone.
Okay, what about actually using them? Ease of use and then the dreaded cleaning.
Air fryers are generally designed to be super simple, basic controls, digital or dials, very user-friendly.
Get it out, plug it in, push a button.
Pretty much. And the cleaning, this is a big selling point. The basket and the tray usually have a non-stick coating.
And they often go in the dishwasher.
Typically, yes. So cleanup is usually quick, minimal fuss, which fits that whole convenience angle.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Now, the convection oven, probably a bit more involved.
It generally is. The controls can be more complex, especially on multifunction models, and cleaning just takes longer.
Bigger space to wipe down.
Bigger space. You've got multiple racks that get greasy, maybe baked on stuff on the bottom or sides, especially if you're doing roasts. It's just a larger cleaning job. You'll spend more time scrubbing.
Okay, makes sense. Let's talk bottom line. Cost and energy. How efficient are these things?
Well, the air fryer typically uses less power overall. Wattage is usually somewhere between, say, 800 and 1500 watts.
Which isn't huge.
No.
Yeah.
And when you combine that lower wattage with the much shorter cooking times and often no preheating.
It ends up being pretty energy efficient for those small, quick tasks.
Right.
Reheating leftovers, cooking a single portion of something.
Definitely more efficient for that specific use case. Now, the convection oven pulls more power, especially the bigger ones. We're talking 2,000, maybe up to 3,500 watts or even more for large built-ins.
That sounds like a lot more energy.
It is in terms of raw wattage, but you have to think about efficiency per item cooked.
Ah, right. If you're cooking a big meal all at once.
Exactly. If you're baking 3 racks of cookies or roasting a large chicken with potatoes, the convection oven does it all in one go. It might use more power while it's on, but the total energy used for that whole meal might be less than running the air fryer 3 or 4 times in separate batches.
So it depends on what and how much you're cooking.
Precisely. It's nuanced.
And the purchase price.
Yeah.
Air fryers seem pretty accessible.
Generally, yes. You can find basic ones for maybe $50, up to maybe $200 for fancier digital models with presets. It's often an impulse buy or an easy add-on.
Convection ovens, though, that's a wider range.
Much wider. A simple countertop toaster oven style might start around $100, but if you're looking at larger capacity, high-performance countertop models, or especially built-in wall ovens with convection,
Then the price goes way up.
yeah, you can easily spend $1,000 or much more for those high-end integrated units. It's a bigger investment.
Okay, so after all that, what's the takeaway for you listening at home? We've seen they both use circulating hot air, but they're really built for different jobs.
Right. One's about speed and crunch in small amounts. The other's about volume and doing lots of different things well.
So can we boil it down? A clear framework for deciding.
I think so. Based on everything we've looked at, you should probably choose an air fryer if counter space is tight. For one,
Okay.
if your main goal is making healthier versions of fried foods, things like wings, fries, frozen snacks quickly, and if you usually cook for just 1 to, say, 4 people max.
It's the specialist for quick, crispy convenience.
Yeah, exactly. Intense, focused convenience. Now, you should choose the convection oven if
you need that versatility. Baking, roasting, broiling.
Yes. If you're a keen home cook who does a variety of things, if you often cook for larger groups or need to prepare multiple dishes like a main and sides at the same time, or cook large items like that turkey.
It's the kitchen workhorse, the multitasker.
That's the one. Necessary if you need scale and flexibility.
Well, that brings our deep dive to a close. Thanks for bringing all these details together. It really clarifies how these two appliances, even with similar tech, really cater to different needs, different lifestyles.
It does. And thinking about those lifestyles, it raises one last point, maybe something for you to consider further.
Oh.
Well, we've established the air fryer is all about speed, efficiency, and smaller quantities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So does the huge popularity of the air fryer suggest something about how we cook now, with smaller households, maybe less time, more focus on quick meals? Are we moving towards favoring appliances built for this kind of intensity and speed over the traditional priorities of scale and volume that define the standard oven for so long?
That's interesting. Are our modern needs reshaping the kitchen appliance landscape towards speed over size?
Something to think about.
A fascinating question to chew on indeed. Thanks again. And thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. Until next time.